Let's go. Get your hands in the air now. Right now, right now. I said it goes like this. Her name was Lois Lane, and it wasn't their fault. They couldn't help but gawk when she walked into the room. She had on cheap perfume, some kind of jealous gloom. These boys would act like they would laugh, but I could tell they wanted to follow her back to her room. As for myself, I put the notion right on the shelf. How hard it is to be blown away, 'cause I could clearly not withstand the damage of falling for Miss Lois Lane. She started walking out, walking out, walking out, when I decided to plead for her heart. She shine, shine. They would stare and you know why, all dolled up like it was prom night. And I can't help but think of her right now, right now. 'Cause her name was Lois Lane, and it wasn't their fault, their fault. They couldn't help but gawk when she walked into the room. She had on cheap perfume, some kind of jealous gloom. These boys would act like they would laugh, but I could tell they wanted to follow her back to her room. 'Cause her name was Lois Lane, her name. As for myself, I put the notion right on the shelf. How hard it is to be blown away. I clearly could not withstand the damage of falling for Miss Lois Lane. My name is Clark, and I love her.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Real Uncommon Podcast. It's our 181st live stream. That's a Hulk 181 number if you don't know that, guys. So this is going to be a very smashing episode. I hope everyone is doing well. It is the weekend. It's time to relax and chill. We've made it, guys. And also today is Viviverse Day. I've seen nothing on my timeline but Viviverse posts, content, videos, the whole Magilla, and the best part, guys, it didn't crash. It's still going, and we're still having a great time. But, you know, we're going to have to rewind. This is not a Viviverse stream. That's a little bit later. Today, you guys, we're going to be talking story with, you know, a very, very good X-Space DJ in the spaces. But before we even get into our guest, let's get D into the studio. D, how are you? You are muted, D. Infamously muted.
Hello, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday to you all from me and the Prince. He is here. Yeah, it's a busy day, busy day, but I hope everyone's having a great Friday or a great Saturday if you're ahead of us in the future. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. We're going to be, like Hinano said, talking with one of the greatest hosts in X Spaces and get to know him a little bit more. And yeah, just hang out and chill out until we can all get into the Viviverse and hang out there, right?
Yes. Working on that, guys. Working on that. But
yeah.
I'm very excited to have a conversation with this guy. And we all know it's Maynz. We got Maynz in the studio. Guys, I really love the Collectors Hub. Here's the reason why. It's very akin to what we do here on Aloha Friday, where they really get into the personal side of a collector, specifically on the collector's side, and they get to know them more on a personal level. I love that type of content. KC, she used to do the same type of content. She was a big inspiration for us. Maynz, you're a big inspiration for us too, in terms of continuing this conversation with you guys on YouTube. So I'm going to really enjoy this one for sure, you guys. But before we get into the studio, you guys, we will be right back after this commercial break. That's right, everybody. We needed a schedule because apparently we've got a lot of shows. In fact, there's a show missing off that schedule. But essentially, guys, we decided to do a schedule because once you get past 3 shows and you have a fourth, maybe a fifth one, maybe we should really like space it out so people know what we're doing here. But
Maybe.
guys, yeah, maybe. But tune into VV Radio as well as our Tuesday night streams where we talk about digital comics and collectibles. And then Enter the Verse will be a new show. I have not figured out the time slot for that yet. I'm working out with my own work schedule. But that is definitely going to be a new show. That's going to be all things VVverse. In fact, I may go live on that show tonight later on. We'll see. But that is definitely a new show. And then we also have a limited series that we're going to be doing on Monday with The Biggest Bro and Video Shane. And it's called The Severed Floor. And it's basically us being, critics, I guess, on YouTube, talking about the series, talking about speculation, and seeing where it might go. That's completely off the wall from digital collecting, by the way. But anyways, back to our regular scheduled program. Go ahead, Dee.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's not like VV related, it's still like fandom related, right? Which kind of
Sure.
it is in the digital world, because we're streaming it. But yeah, we've got lots of stuff happening as well as other people who have their shows. So every day there's something for you to tune into and watch and listen in on. Or I'm sure in the next couple weeks or even months, people are going to be having a lot of live streams or spaces or even in Discord to showcase their VBverse, because that's like the hot topic of the today and then moving forward. But anyways, yeah, lots and lots of things to cover and be able to tune into. So we're not, what is the saying? There is no shortage of content out there.
Not at all. In fact,
So
there's so much now. It harkens to back the old days. I love this, guys. We have momentum and wind in our sails. But let's get back to our regular scheduled program. Let's get to the guest that's waiting for us. Everybody, let's invite the Collectors Hub's host, Maynz himself, into the studio. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the hosts of the hottest shows on Twitter on Saturdays, the Collectors Hub itself, Maynzy.
Mainzy!
What's up, Maynz?
Hey guys! Wow! Wow! Oh, wow! Can I just say, firstly, the visuals as I'm watching, they are absolutely incredible, top tier work, guys, and this is amazing. Thank you for having me.
Whenever the Collectors Hub is ready to come on YouTube, feel free to hit me up for any support. I'm here for you guys.
It's insane work, honestly. It is. I'm speechless. It's so good, but it's so good to see you guys, and thank you for having me. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's going to be a role reversal for you. But we're gonna start off really slow. We're not going to be asking for anything personal like your address or anything like that, unless you want to give us that. You know what I mean? I think we're going to be okay. But Dee, anything you want to add to this before we get started?
Well, first of all, yeah, thank you, Mainzy, for coming on the show. Okay, do you prefer to be called Mainzy or Maynz? Like,
I'm easy. Mainzy was created by Dave, which is fine. And then the fam sort of just stuck with that. But however, I'm easy. Mainzy, whatever you're comfortable with, D.
Okay, cool. Because I've been like Mainzy, because that's what I hear in spaces. I'm like, okay, I'm part of the cool club too now.
Of course, it was Dave that came up with that.
Who else could it be? Who else?
But yeah, thank you so much for your time and being here. I know it's a little late for you across the pond, so yeah, I appreciate your time and being here.
It's an honor. It's an absolute honor.
Let's go. All right. So, Maynz, we're just going to start right at the beginning right here. And we kind of asked this question from the start. kind of give us an example or explain to us how you first found this space, specifically Web3, VV? I mean, what came first? Did you actually find the crypto space first? Was it Omi? Or did you find the app just by perusing, a couple of years ago? How did you find this digital collecting space?
Oh, wow, here we go. This is my time to answer now. This is crazy. Let's go. Okay. Let's rewind. Let's go back. Okay, 2020 is where the Web3 space started for me. I was introduced to XRP, so I was an XRP maxi back then. We got into some cool stuff. There was airdrops and things that were happening. You had to just transfer a small amount of XRP into a wallet called Zoom at the time, which I believe has now changed its name. And by storing it there, you was eligible for airdrops through tokens that were on the XRP ledger at the time. So that's how I started. XRP was introduced by a friend who I grew up with, a friend I played football with as well. So yeah, I took a look. We didn't really know what we was doing back then with crypto.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a strange time, right? Everybody was a bit scared, I believe.
For sure.
So yeah, so that's where it started. It started with XRP. And then I got an airdrop one day, and then it was quite a significant amount of XRP that you got, because it was a deal where you get airdropped a token and you could exchange it for XRP. So that's what I was doing. We was trying to build up the XRP. And then as I dived into to see where it came from, I was like, what's going on here? Where did it come from? It was actually from a coin. Sorry, not a coin. It was a token launched on XRP that was an art token, which led me then to what is an art token, which led me to NFTs. Okay, so I found NFTs before anything, but I didn't really know again what I was doing, and seeing some of the prices at that time for certain things, it just didn't make sense,
Yeah.
So again, we was learning about that, and then I sent it over
What
to
type of NFT was that, if you don't mind me asking? What was like the art NFT that you?
I would have to go back and have a look at what it was called, if I'm totally honest. But I just remember it being labeled as an art project. So it was like, okay, what's this? And then I'd have to go back and find it. I'm going to look as we're in the show anyway, and I'll bring that back to you. But that's where it started for me. And then I sent it over to Q, who is my good friend, who's in the community also. And he was like, so you're into NFTs? And I was like, kind of, but I don't really know what they are. And he seemed to have done his own research as well. And then he sent me the app, and he said, have a look at this. Here's the VV app. And I said, okay, what's this? And he said, just take a look. He said, it's got some cool stuff. Marvel, there's comics, there's this, there's that. And I was like, okay, this is cool, because we'll get into it. But as a kid, I was a huge fan of all sorts of stuff. But I logged in, and
You saw that cool stuff.
I saw Spider-Man, and I was like,
was that the collectible that did it for you? Was Spider-Man?
Well, that was when I logged in. It was around that drop, or it just happened, or it was just coming up to the drop, I think it was. So I was like, but what else can I do with this? And he was like, well, you just hold it in your phone for now. And I was like, okay. Like, it was very confusing. It was, it was so confusing for me, right? Because I wouldn't ever class myself as a collector, but then now I understand what collecting really, really means by being here with everybody. Like, if I think back now, I was sort of a collector without even realizing I was a collector. So back when I was young, it was football sticker packs and cards and just all sorts of little things. So then so anyway, I looked at the app and I closed it, and I said, I don't think it's for me, bro. I don't think this is for me. I don't see. I was too involved in XRP at the time. I was too involved in airdrops.
Yeah.
I was too involved in converting airdrops into
The
XRP.
value proposition of XRP just made more sense.
Yeah, and there was a big hype around it at that time. You know, everywhere. Like it ended up, it dragged on for 4 years,
Yeah.
but we got there in the end, right? So it was
We
like,
did.
okay, yeah. So that's where it started for me, guys. That is where it started.
Okay. So you're in the app, and so basically what was like your first, kind of describe your first drop for me. And let me frame this question for you. So I found the app specifically on December 9th was the first time I signed up for Vivi. And the first drop I tried to be a part of was Voltron. And I didn't know at the time you had to be there right before the drop hit. If not, you weren't going to get it. So I went there. I'm like, it's at 6 a.m. for us. Like depending on the time zones, either it's 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So that auto pay feature is going to be great for me. But I got there at 6:01 and I'm like, what the hell? Everything's sold out. And there were two markets. There was the store and the marketplace. And I'm scratching my head like, what's the difference? So then I go to the marketplace. I'm like, I see the drop and it's expensive, right? I think it's like, I don't know, like the secret rare of the Voltron was like 150 gems. And so I got very turned off and I'm like you, I left. But it was not until I started watching the content creators like Vivian3 and My Collectibles where I was like, okay, you know what? I'm understanding this more. And so my very first NFT that I bought off of Vivi was the DeLorean. Like just because it's my favorite trilogy.
Let's go.
My family's favorite trilogy, and it's a very recognizable vehicle. So basically, to frame the question, what was your first drop in experience with Vivi?
So my first, obviously, after the app, obviously I shut the app down. I just said I don't think it's for me. I think it was the price point of the Spider-Man at the time.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It was expensive, and it was like, it just seemed quite a lot to get into as a starting point. So I came back a month. Q sent me the app again because he was determined to get me here. He knew that I would be like involved, and he knew that I would love this place and the app, and because he was already in. I think at that time, I think he just got into Spaces as well, but I wasn't there. Like he never really introduced me to that yet. So it was a comic about a month after. I believe it was a. I can't believe I haven't got the answers for you here. I'm going to have to go back as well. This is crazy. It was an X-Men. I think it was an X-Men comic.
Astonishing X-Men #1.
Maybe it was definitely an X-Men comic, and I remember hitting it and I didn't get it because it was fastest back then. It was fastest finger first, right? It was crazy. So that was the first time. But then,
and did you buy the commons really expensive? That was, I remember that drop. It was, I think Astonishing X-Men was the first X-Men they dropped, and I went for that same drop too, and I ended up buying like I think I bought a rare, really expensive in the market because like commons and uncommons were going for like 20 gems at the time.
It was money back or more.
Yeah,
at the time. So it was like, you know, if that's what you was into, instead of because it was strange because I've sort of come from a place where in crypto where I was just into values of everything. But then as I've been here now for the last 4 years, and I've been in Spaces, and I've collected on the app, and I've been around the community, and I've become a collector myself with other stuff, and it's like it made me a collector. That's what the app did. It made me a collector. I wasn't a collector before I came here. Maybe you could put down the stuff that I said as a child, but I wasn't a real collector until I came to the app. So
let's go.
I bought a comic off the market, and then I see it go up in significant price 2-3 days later. So then and then I started to do other stuff in the market. And I just got hooked instantly. I think there was just such a hype around this thing at the start. It was just crazy.
Yeah,
you was just seeing the value for stuff then, and that's just me being honest. I mean, I was just buying and selling, and then it was just a crazy time. It was a real crazy time. And then I got introduced to Spaces. The first space I ever got into was a JToke space on my own.
I I remember Jay.
He thought I was Taos. He thought I was trolling.
I think a lot of people thought you guys were the same.
He was adamant. He was not convinced for about 3-4 days until I think after about 3 or 4 days of me being in Spaces, he popped in as well, and then yeah, there we was,
Hey,
and there we
there's my
met.
clone.
Yeah, it's like that's his alt account.
So that was the first space for me, yeah. And then I got introduced to O'Malley through Q because his first spaces was back of the class because he was that's where we got to meet all everybody who was there, Emoji, Gamma, True, Khaki, just all a lot of faces that we don't really see anymore, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So now you're saying that, kind of like to segue the question, Viviverse just launched. You think the old faces are going to come back?
I think a few faces will appear above the wall. I feel this is bringing back a few. It's bringing back them old vibes as well. It's new. It's fun. And I was just been waiting for so long, and now I'm in there. I'm like, okay, you had a million ideas before you got your login. Now what out of these million ideas are you going to start with? Because
draw it on a napkin.
I'm a very indecisive person that like it takes me so long to create a space title and to create it's just crazy. So I'm scrambled at the moment. Like I'll probably start 3 or 4 things all at once and hover around into certain bits, and I don't know, but I've got some ideas, and it's cool that we're here, right? It's happened. So let's go, guys. Let's go.
Happened. I'm gonna pass the baton to D. D, go for it.
Yeah, and don't mind the noises in the background here.
He's all good. He's all good. He's VV fam too. Let's go.
Yeah, he likes to make it known a lot. Going back to the collecting aspect, I had a question. So after getting into VV and finding yourself collecting a lot more, are you also finding yourself collecting like more physicals as well? And what do you normally go for as in your collecting journey? Like what do you go for, more art stuff, since that was kind of like your first like NFT? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, my collecting physical journey really started after the first event as well. So we had an event here in the UK, Decon. The team came here. I'd already been in Spaces for about a year, I think. And then they came here. So my physical journey really started after the first event of me actually experiencing it was my first event too, right? So it's so I'm not like an OG like all these people that I interview, and that's why I feel sometimes out of place, because these guys are really true collectors, and that's why I love to do the show, because I love to learn and find out about how they got into it and their journeys and how long it's been. I mean, like it goes back some of the guys I've had on the show, it goes back as far as them being like 6 and 8, and I'm like, this is wild, But it started for me there. Decon, that's where it started, and the main thing I collect is comics. So I don't have room for many collectibles. Funkos take up too much room, although I think they're really cool, and I do have a couple of special ones. I may be able to get some footage of those soon, of Hulk 181 comic Funko slab, like in a nice box it is, and the black suit Spidey, which was Spider-Man. Is it Spider-Man 300? Is that the cover in the background? I'll have to check, but one of those. But yeah, that's the main thing for me. I started off with my first comic collection, which is insane, was the Disney 100 variants.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are cool.
So all the ones, I just thought they were super cool, to see these real, you would call them growls, that are just now all converted into Disney. I thought it was cool. Yeah, so that was my first run, which is Wild. What other type of physicals have I got comics wise? DCs, I've got a lot of them are not obviously real ones because they're a lot of money, as we know. So I've got a lot of facsimile comics. I've got a few. I've got a couple of slabs. But as I say, I'm new to this, so I'm just building. You know, I'm just. I love the space. I love the community, and yeah, it's just that's me. That's me, guys.
I want to kind of dive into the community. Specifically, you were telling us about your first space with Jay Tokes, but I first was exposed to you in a space. I can't remember if you were doing an AMA, but I just remember you were up there with, I think, Tails and a few other people, Jay East. Normally the crew that I see you hang out with all the time. And so specifically spaces, kind of give me an idea of how you became a DJ in spaces. This is prior Collectors Hub. How did you actually kind of like interact with the community? And let me frame the question for you right here. This is how we got into YouTube. We basically collaborated with a bunch of YouTubers. We went to DCon 2022, which helped conceive this podcast. And that's kind of how we started here on our journey here. Like, I can only imagine if I started on X and I didn't do the YouTube route, I probably would be in spaces with you guys. But kind of give us your journey of how you first started spaces. What was your first space? Did it go well? And to get you to the evolution of where you are now with one of the hottest shows on Saturday. I'm not going to lie.
You're too kind. You're too kind. Stop it. Right. Okay. So it started with me being consistent in Jay Tokes' space every morning. He used to do a breakfast show, right? Every day. So he was hosting for a good year, I would say. So I was quite consistent every day there because it suited me. I was on with my job. I'm on the road a lot, so I'm going from construction site to construction site. So it suited me to be in spaces while I was on the road, you know, instead of a radio, this became it. That was my radio. So,
Yeah.
so I was there with Jay Tokes, and then Jay Tokes would make me a co-host. And that's where it really, that is actually how it started with me and Tokes as a co-host. We used to co-host with GW, which I haven't spoke to in so long. And then Jay East as well. He used to come through, and then he started to come through every day as well. And then he was co-hosting with me and Tokes as well. And that's where it really all started. And then Jay Tokes had to move. So he was living in France at the time. So I think he was working remotely. So he had a lot of, he was hosting every day. So he had, I think he had more time. And then he moved back here to the UK, which didn't allow him, to host as much, which was unfortunate. And Jay East sort of stepped into that role and said, okay, like if you can't host, I'll cover you. Type thing, it started to become a cover shows. That's how we started.
Teamwork.
Obviously, it was teamwork. In fact, for real. And if he wasn't around, then I would do like a cover show. And then, so if you remember, you would probably like it might thing, but we would put that in the space up at the top and say it was a Jay East, a cover show, or a Jay Tokes. Like it was what we was doing as a team. So that's where it all began. And the music was inspired by Jay East. Jay East was the first to ever bring that type of environment to a space, like he's the way that he plays the tracks, the way that he had it as like a background. So because it's always awkward in spaces, if no one's talking, everyone gets on edge for some reason. Me, I don't mind it. I think it's quite nice to just have a 2-minute or like a 30-second breather, but there's some people in spaces who they hate it, right? So they're like, oh gosh, so they have like to have some air. So the music was just insane. So that's how it started for me, and then it just became me and Jay every day for, I would say, like a few weeks, because we was expecting a space from Jay Tokes, but obviously he was in the UK and he had his work and it. So anyway, that's what we started to do, and then Miss Gex started to show up every day, and the rest is history. We just kept on as a team, me, Jay East, Gex, and along the way, obviously, we've met Miss Rose through Jay because he knew Miss Rose beforehand. Them guys were doing the Dutch spaces with AMG as well, so that's how I got to meet that crew. Got invited over there. Hamoon. A lot of old school names that we don't see anymore, man. It's crazy, D. Yeah, but that's the journey for me. It started there, and then I just started to do when Jay had to have a little break because of work or whatnot. Yeah, because of RIO, it just happens to us all. You know, we've all at the end of the day, we love this place, but we still have our jobs outside of it, right? We're still either we're a parent or we've got a work to provide or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I started to host in the mornings, and then as always, we would host the morning show till about lunchtime, or maybe even more than that now when I come to think of it, because America would wake up about midday for us, like 1 p.m, 2 p.m. I think it ended up being
East
like
Coast.
9 a.m. Yeah, East Coast, yeah. And then from 2 p.m. till 6 p.m, it was prime time. It was prime time. A lot of the time I would just be on mute, and O'Malley would come up to help me out and he'd co-host. Because, yeah, I love you guys, but the dating spaces were wild. Everybody had a hand up to speak then. It was crazy. But that's the journey, guys. Yeah, it started with Tokes co-hosting to then me and hosting and co-hosting with my brother Jay East. He inspired me to do the music, and then the rest is history. From there, we've just continued as a team, brick by brick, and tried to just bring. Just try to bring. I don't know, some fun, some laughs, some
Value.
content. So and value, of course. I
love that, man. I love
cool.
hearing this. I love to hear the building blocks of what made a person in this specific community, because if you really realize this, we're all living double lives here, right? Or as David likes to call this, is our third place. Now I kind of want to follow up to this. Specifically, can you tell us maybe your favorite, or most specifically a memory of spaces that kind of sticks with you, like the best memory you have in spaces? Let me frame this question. So the best memory for me specifically was the first time I ever went up on a space. It was a Silicon Secure space, and it was the road to DCon 2022. At that time, I've never been on spaces. The only interaction I've had with the VV fam was through the VV feed, on X spaces through DMs, and through my collectibles chat. To be all honestly, a lot of what my collectibles did in the past kind of helped a lot of us content creators give us the confidence to do this kind of stuff, just by interacting with people and then slowly coming out of our comfort zone and kind of showing ourselves on here. But specifically for me, that Silicon Secure space was so memorable for me because it was a small space. There was a bat cowl individual in there who was from Hawaii himself. And so that kind of made me feel comfortable. I'm like, okay, I've got a brother up there. So I went up there. I was nervous. And Silicon was just super easy. He was like, hey, welcome up. I've seen you before on the timeline. I know who you are. Welcome. Are you coming to DCon? And, right off the bat, I felt very comfortable. He made me feel comfortable. And ever since that space, I went on more spaces. And then it gave me the confidence to start this YouTube channel. So is there a memory for you that you can remember that was pivotal for you in spaces?
If it wasn't for my best friend, my good bro Q, and Towels and J Tokes and G Dubs and Zara, I'm gonna keep going with some names, and Kevin and Becca. Shout out to my sister every time. She gave me my first slab as well. We'll get into that.
Nice.
Crazy. But yeah, to go back to what you asked, if it if it weren't for the amount of people that was from here in Spaces at that time, maybe I wouldn't have stuck around as much, because it just, as you said, it makes you feel at home, right, when you're hearing others. So that was it for me. It was more that. So it was the fact that every day in the morning it was everybody from here, and then in the afternoon. But my most memorable space was when my brother Kenobi, shout out to Kenobi, Key Comics, when he live streamed, yo, chill. when he live streamed himself at the con, and he gave us the live one-to-one experience of actually being at the con. That is one that sticks out for me. There's been others, but that one specifically was a crazy space.
Was that one of the recent ones? Was that a recent one he did when he went to Singapore or something like that, or something?
No, the very first one. The very first one. It was like 2022 Comic-Con, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And he filmed the whole thing. He had like battery packs after battery packs after battery packs.
Wow.
He was filming himself.
Dedication.
He'd stop and have a drink, and he'd be filming and say, guys, I've got to take a chill. I'm just having a drink and I've got all these battery packs. He'd show us some more. It was just a dope thing to do. It really was.
Yeah, that's really cool when you can be part of it even though you're not there physically.
My dogs are barking. Shout out, Gex.
And Kenobes is literally a show, a walking show in himself. Like, he doesn't even need a live stream. He can just be on a corner and there's the Kenobi show. It's a 24/7. So shout out to you, Kenobes. Really appreciate you, brother. D, any questions?
Well, he was answering like a lot of I had in my head. But yeah, I get you on the whole part of like, if it wasn't for the community and a lot of different people that I've personally met through the spaces and actually got to see in real life, because we've had I wasn't here from the very beginning. I got in to VB specifically December of 2021. And
let's go.
Yeah, there was like times where it was like super high, like everything was selling for like thousands of dollars or thousands of gems, and then we it literally took a shit and it went down to like zero. But people were still here. So for me, like, I think it wasn't for like certain people that I met along the way, like I wouldn't be like such an addict on X, like checking every morning when I wake up, oh, what's my notification? Who's on Spaces right now? Who's having a live stream?
Yeah.
It's like a everyday ritual now where you have to check it. Otherwise, if you miss like a day, you're like so behind.
Facts. It took forever to catch up if you missed an hour of Spaces. It was wild back then.
Yeah.
Right? It was wild. But that's where it was. It was just, that's what kept me around. That inspirations of everyone. Shout out to Miss Gex. She's, she is such a professional at what she does and how she presents herself, and a great speaker. It's 100%. And yeah, if
polished.
There's crazy. There's so many others as well now that are just this whole place has grown to. We've got some real professionals now. It's. I mean, just have a look at you guys. That intro, I can't get over it. It's like felt like I'm on a TV show. It's insane.
You are.
It's insane. But no, guys, honestly, it's that's me, and that's where we started, and that's where we are now. And I can't. Obviously, the networking is a big part of it. Emoji.
Major.
Yeah.
So many people back then who were hosting as well, even now. Khaki, Prop, Block, Giffy, and all my Canadian fam. There's Kerm, there's Tash, there's so many people that I could sit here and mentioned who have just been a
lot
real,
of flowers to throw.
yeah, so many. Like don't want to forget anybody, so don't kill me, people, please. I
We're
won't
giving
forget
him a
everybody.
pass, everyone. It's Viviverse Day, all right? We're all got Viviverse
And it's
in our
late
heads
where
right
he
now.
is,
Yeah.
so
We're all
don't
thinking
mind
about it
him.
while during this interview. So
What am I gonna film?
No, it's all good. It's the weekend for me. I'm here, and that's it. Yeah, I'm awake. I promise I won't fall asleep. Promise.
that's okay. Don't worry about it. I hear there's other people in spaces that falls asleep. I'm not gonna name names, but he starts with J.
Yeah,
But
That's hilarious.
so let's get to like this is the question I've been waiting to get to. I want to talk
Okay.
about the Collectors Hub. We've talked about your journey.
Wow.
We've talked about your journey in spaces, your memories in spaces, and I'm specifically framing to get to this question right here. I want to know specifically the foundation of what first started the Collectors Hub, and I'm going to frame this question again. Here's a good example. The foundation that started the podcast was D and I going to DCon 2022, interacting with all our favorite friends, content creators, getting over that hump of meeting them for the first time, and then being at the airport. D and I literally looked at each other and like, we don't want this to end. We want to continue this conversation. And we both started messing around on YouTube. We've been on Bob Sale's channel before. I've been on Spaces with Silicon. And so we're like, okay, we're going to try this out. And we decided we're going to start a YouTube channel. Well, mainly it wasn't on YouTube. I think we started on X first, and then we went to YouTube.
Yep,
Shout out
X
to
first.
Superstar Joe. He convinced us to go on the YouTube. But essentially, I put out a poll, and I said, would you guys watch us if we started a podcast? And Rob's stuff. Not only did he vote right away, he actually DM'd me and said, I love what you guys are doing. I would 100% want to back you guys up. Let me know when your show starts. And that made us feel good because Rob was like one of the big content creators back then. And so we hit the ground running. We ended up like finding one of our friends, Tropical Bird. She was our first person we ever interviewed. Don't go watch it back, people. It's a really bad interview. Other than the guest and my co-host here, yeah, everything else was just a shit show.
Everything else was
But that really encouraged us to start this channel and move forward. And I got to tell you, Maynz, if this channel has really helped us kind of like spread our wings, network. As you said, there's a lot of networking aspect. We've interviewed engineers, VV fam, people outside, CEOs, graphic designers. I mean, these got the list. And so it's been really great for us on the networking aspect. I've been able to meet other people. I've been able to network in the crypto space and in digital collecting and all alike. And so that has really kept us going here. And that's what's inspired us to create something of our own. Now, coming back to you, what inspired the foundation of the Collectors Hub? What inspired you to choose your team and kind of go from there? Because there's a little bit more questions I want to add after that.
So with us being at the start, we was, I would say, like a music, like we tried to bring the music into collecting as well and into the family. So it started off with my brother Jay East at the bus stop. We was I tried to bring some interviews there on people that were into music. So we had the likes of the good brother Dr. Strange. What an episode that was. I hope it was recorded. I need to check with Jay because that was a very, very cool chat. We went, he took us to the underground, I mean, he knows his stuff, right? And he's involved and he's a part of it. So he's an artist himself. So that was insane. So that's where it sort of started in terms of bringing some content. Up until then, it was chill spaces and VV spaces, you know. Nothing back then was really recorded either because we were just wild.
Well, still kind of are.
Yeah, hey. I think we know now when to wear a suit now and when not to wear a suit. It took us 4 years to do this. But yeah, no, we really. So that's where that's where it started. Me, Gex, and Jay were trying. I was trying to bring, and they sort of laugh about it now because they had a completely different idea for the bus stop to what I did. So in the end, I said, okay, give me a little half-hour slot just to interview somebody, and then we can get back to what we was doing. And that's how it actually started. So we was doing that. We had artists on the show, inviting artists on. We was trying to make these little intros and stuff. And that's where it all began. It's crazy now to think about that, but to think that we had interviews at the bus stop. Shout out to my bus stop crew and family every Friday. Don't miss it. 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. EST. And I'm not sure for you guys across the pond, but that's my brother right there, Jay East, and Miss Gex is my sister, and team, and KC and Miss Rose, of course. Can't forget them also. But
Absolutely.
that's where it started, my man. And then because of collecting and where I've been here for so long, and obviously I've just my love for the app and the community and the people and the networking that I've met, and started to get into physicals and stuff like that. And I've got to admit, at the time when I started the show, there wasn't, I wouldn't say that we came to like a brick wall, but there wasn't too much going on in terms of content in spaces. Yeah. I would host from time to time, I would host a debate space where we would iron out some issues and concerns. And
I remember those.
Again, I enjoyed it at the time because I did. At the time, I enjoyed to be trying to just be honest, and just try and get some answers.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Start the conversation.
Yeah, but then in the end, it just didn't make me feel good, if that makes sense. I wasn't getting a good vibe from it. It was starting to turn, it's just doom and gloom. A space to complain, and
people
I'm not about that, We have too much of that in real life, and
brings down your energy.
Stuff. There's too much other stuff going on in the world, and then I like, why have it here in a place that I like and love? So I switched it up, and I just tried to bring a new aspect of that. We don't just always have to talk about NFTs, because at the time NFTs were down, the morale was down, people were down. It was just is what it was. Right? I'm just going to be honest. It was what it was at that time. So well, let's talk. So then I just thought to myself, one, I'd like to get to know everyone a bit more. Two, there's a lot of other aspects to collecting. You can collect coins, you can collect stamps, you can collect bottle lids, you can collect trainers, sneakers, clothes. I don't care what you collect. It's all, I just thought, let's bring a new aspect. And that's how we started off. I wanted to learn more from the fam. So one, I would keep it VV content related. Two, I would like to bring other aspects of what they're into. So then we start to talk about cool stuff from their childhood: Transformers, Thundercats, Turtles, Mario, gaming. I mean, I was born in '84. I don't mind telling people that. That's fine by me. I'm a cool dad. I'm an '80s baby. So there was, so a lot of so I've grew up through the eras of seeing the tech evolve, from seeing us go from toys to now the VV. It's insane, and I am very grateful for everybody that's been to my show, everybody that's took part, everybody that's supported me, the team. Shout out to VV, of course. We cannot forget them. They have really stepped up this year and helping us guys, right? With all sorts, helping us to give back to anyone that is in our spaces. And it's just, that's where it is. That's where it started. And this is where I am, and I'm grateful for it. I really am. And I'm just inspired by it. There's so many people I'm inspired by. Millie, there's yourselves, there's Inform Mint. Shout out to Inform Mint and Vivi Magic and her streams. We've got, don't let me forget people. There's so many people who are streaming, right? And just people that are hosting and content creators. Shout out to my brother Casual. Shout out to the biggest bro. And Oh, I'm gonna forget people. I know I am.
many. Kid
Don't kill me,
Arcade.
guys. Kid Arcade, yes. Thank you. Help me if you can. But everybody,
Osmond, Doctor
honestly,
Strange, all those guys,
Osmond,
yeah,
yeah,
and all the whole
Osmond,
fam.
just inspired, and that is where it is, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. I'm grateful for every guest that I've invited that has said yes instantly. There's only one, I would say, company who haven't yet accepted but said they would in the future, and that was Elminex. So
Nice.
shout out to everybody over at Elminex. Hopefully
We
can
got the
have
same
that
memo
soon.
from them, Maynz.
Yeah.
It's hard work out here, isn't it,
we
guys?
tried
It's
as
hard
well.
work.
Yeah.
It's
So
hard
it's
work.
not
Yeah.
you.
It's
we
not
got your
easy.
job.
It's
No,
them.
not
It's
easy.
them.
That's not easy. No, there's nothing against them. I think they've got some really cool stuff, and I always
Yeah.
at the end of the show, I sort of get some news across all the stuff that we like to collect on. So I always like to put them in as well because they have some cool stuff. Yeah, I like the artwork and stuff.
I think format specifically for a show is good because it keeps your show moving. The one thing you want to do is make sure your show is moving in terms of, because you got a lot to do, right? I can only imagine that you guys have a lot of prep. Let me give you an example of the prep we do here. You see all the visuals and everything like that. That's all prefabbed and made for the guest that comes on. So like last night,
Indeed.
I literally prefabbed all that prior to you coming on because we don't
fantastic.
have it all pre-made with your face coming up and all that. So
That's fantastic.
that's just a little addedness that I like to do. But for me, I can do this stuff quick because for me, this is an outlet to kind of like express myself because I have so much ideas in my head that I'll drive my wife nuts. She'll get crazy. So,
I love it. I love it. I really love it.
I'll get up at 2 a.m. feeding the baby. I'll hitting her. I'm like, hey, so what do you think of this idea for the show? She's like, I'm like
half asleep.
So, but I digress. But let's go back to. I'm still on the Collectors Hub here because I want to know what's the inspiration in terms of the format of your show. Like you said right now, you kind of don't want to switch up. You didn't want to do any more of the AMAs. It kind of was doom and gloom. I completely understand that. Me, I'm a person of energy. And so I kind of like before the show started, everybody, I was talking to Maynz about how I love the Collectors Hub because they bring out the tender moments in people. Great example is when you were interviewing Ben. Now, when you interviewed Ben, I love the tender moments you got out of him because there were things that we learned in your interview that wasn't on anyone's interview, even our own. In fact, our own interview, we weren't even getting personal with Ben. We were kind of like answering questions from our community, but you got personal. Yeah. And I love that type of content because I love to get to know people. I love that tender moment aspect. KC, she was a big inspiration on how we wanted to frame our channel because, we're not a drop stream. We don't cover, collectibles. We don't do price prediction. That was the one thing I didn't want to do here, Maynz. I didn't want to do any financial advice. No price predictions here. This is going to be a people's channel. And so I look to other content creators for inspiration. KC was a big inspiration because she was also another content creator out here. And I wish she would keep doing it, who was doing the tender moments with people. She were interviewing people just like how you and I and Dee does it. So a big inspiration was KC as well as Kid Arcade. Kid Arcade had a huge inspiration in this channel. He's the reason why I'm able to do these visuals. Because I watched how he did his visuals. Now, obviously, I don't know how he does his. I learned how to do my own. And that's why there's kind of like, it's like a TV show aspect. And then I become a perfectionist where if something messes up, I have to fix it. So that's kind of like what inspired us to like build our podcast. What really did inspire? Who inspired you to build the Collectors Hub? Was there any content creators? Was it the people that you were with? Kind of give us that aspect.
Do you want I'm going to be totally honest. I was
too much of a question.
No, I just wanted to. I wanted to bring a different aspect of content because it seemed like we was, as I said, at a point where NFTs and stuff. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to bring something new, but it was just I just thought to myself, what can I bring that's new that we don't already have? And it was, I just like, there wasn't that many shows on both sides of the coin, right? Physical and the digital side. So when I tried to bring that Two, I learned, like, if I'm totally honest, I don't really have a roadmap. If that's what you guys are trying to search for, I'm building this as we not. I wouldn't say as we go. I do have obviously a vision, and I'd like to, you know, have as many artists as I can, or collectors, and because I've learned as I've gone along. I mean, I'm at episode 29 tomorrow, which is absolutely insane.
Let's go, man.
But
let's go. 29.
29. Let's go.
It's crazy,
Love it.
right? So yeah, I'm nearly at episode 29. I will be tomorrow, and it's as I'm going on, I'm learning that all the collectors, they love to share their passions. You guys love to speak about whatever you're into for hours. Like, I could talk about stuff for hours: Transformers, Thundercats, Turtles, Marvel, whatever it is. I could sit, like, if I didn't have to go to work, I probably would. But that's just but that's just what's happened since I've been here, right? It's all been built up since the start. So it's, yeah, as I said, it started off with me just being here for the value of stuff, and then along the way I've just built this incredible community, family, network. I mean, I've gone to J East. I've visited J East maybe 4 times now. So we're like, you know, it's crazy to think that I've got friends across the pond is insane. So that's where it is for me. And as I said, I'm building brick by brick, week by week, learning more and trying to evolve the show a little bit more. So, of course, the collectors, like every week, I like to have a journey that will still happen, but I've started to sort of trying to secure some other things that are a little bit more. How can I put it? When I first joined in Spaces and we used to talk about Marvel and comics, I always said that I would love for a representative from them to come into the space, but obviously I realized that they're just a huge, you know, IP, and they're probably not interested in a space with 30 or 50 people in at that time.
You never know.
So now I'm going after. So now I'm trying to go after certain things, and I'll give it in the post as well. I have a Marvel artist who is secured for March the 15th, who is a current artist for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He has done work on Detective Comics. He has also done work on Venom Carnage. And I reached out. I just reached out, honestly, guys. I just reached out, just like how any of us would. That's what you gotta do. And he's willing to come and share his journey as an artist and give us all the behind the scenes working for these guys, Marvel, DC. So that's what I tried to. That was what I set out to do, and I've secured my first artist. So that is a big thing, big thing for me. And yeah, the preparation for this is actually scary. Because I don't want to mess it up, right? I don't want to mess this up.
Well, that's because of the passion that you have, and it's like just genuine. Because if you weren't really serious about it, you wouldn't be like nervous or scared or just like anxious. So I think that's what makes your show genuine, like so real too, is because of the passion behind the idea of your show. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Because honestly, it was just a very small idea that's just evolved, and it's got bigger and bigger. And as I said, I'm just so grateful for everybody. It's crazy, and I love every weekend. I get time to learn from the fam. I get time to chill with the fam, and yeah, it's just I love to learn, right? So
yeah.
It's cool. It's real cool. But I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a host. I mean, I'm not, I'm just. It's everybody who's at my show. It's those people that are the ones who are the stars, because it's their journey. It's about them. It's trying to make them feel comfortable about speaking about their things and what they'd like to collect and share, and dive a little bit into how it started for them, because for the real ones out here, it started for them real young. So it's like a journey from child to adult, experiencing all the collecting stuff, and it's just evolved, guys. Honestly, it's just on its own. This is what's that sometimes I sit and I think, how am I episode 29? How?
Well, you know, a snowball turns into an avalanche sooner or later.
Yeah, you took the first
Yeah.
step, man. Look at you now. Well, you and your team. And
It's
yeah, I
crazy,
gotta tell you, so it's Saturday at 11 in the morning for us, your show, and we have that set aside, that time slot saved on the side. We're sometimes even late to when we have story time with Dave. We're
Dave
like,
used to get
we have-
mad. Well, not mad, but he used to get
Yeah.
frustrated.
we had
I
to
used to
like
get the
message
messages.
him.
I used to get the messages. He's like, "Yo, Mainzy, time out." And I'll be like, "I'm trying to, bro. I'm trying
You're
to."
stretching over, man.
Yeah.
Because
but it's like you don't want to stop the conversation, right? Because people just want to express, and it can go on for hours if
I don't want to cut anybody short, right? So the last two
Yeah.
shows have gone on for over nearly 2 hours or so. We had Kermit, it was incredible. We had Key Comics, it was incredible. And it's just, it's when people are willing to express themselves and really open up, and I think people feel a bit more comfortable with it just being the host and the co-host rather than having a stage of speakers. Because if we go back to the start, we all, even myself, I remember hitting that first request button. You are nervous. It's facts.
Yep. Yeah.
It's facts.
Yeah.
For real.
You are just so nervous. You don't want to get cooked, because that's all it was back in 21 Spaces. If you said something, you said something out of line, you would get cooked, or a hot mic, or there was so much stuff. But yeah, crazy, guys. It's just that it's just evolved on, and as I said.
Well, lastly, let's get to well, this is the last follow-up to the Collectors Hub. Mainly, I want to talk about the personality building right here. So let's frame this now. So my wife, she never used to do public speaking until this podcast. Now Dee's literally running one of her own shows with Big Bro and Raven. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, when we first started this, Maynz, the nerves were insane, and it took Dee and I one whole year to get past the nerves. Now, we never did live streams our first year. We only did pre-recorded stuff. And the first CEO we ever interviewed was Will Weinrob. I was so freaking nervous to interview Will. He actually said, "Yo, you don't have to be nervous. It's all good," right? You know. So, but ever since then we started. Yeah. So that was my question. Like, because I think we're at like 181. The nerves for me is completely gone. Now, for me, I'm just upset if I screw something up, or if the production goes bad, or if the internet goes out. But like the nerves, it took me a year to come out. But like, I want to talk mainly about the personality building, because being a host, hosting a show, you have to kind of like, you have to adapt to what you have to do, because your guests will be different. The vibe might be different. Dead air is something you don't want on your show. You got to keep your show moving. You got to have good content. The scheduling aspect, you already know Alma and X. I'm lucky I have D, but you know what I mean? Like, even that's hard in itself. And then once you get somebody big on, you have to prepare for that person and hope you don't mess up. So episode 29, it takes a lot just to get to 29. I remember when D and I made it to episode 16, we were so proud of ourselves. But 29, that is a huge feat. How do you feel about that? How is the nerves? And because then also you have your co-host to like lean on as well. Your team is there to back you up. But how does it feel for the confidence building and also perpetuating yourselves out here?
Without my team, it won't be a show. That is fact. We are a team, and they all know that, and they all. And I try to, I try to do everything with them as a team. And if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't have been what it is today. Miss Gex helped me to get to episode 10 with my brother Jay East. He's responsible for the intros of every dope space you hear. If it wasn't for Jay East, my Collectors Hub intro would be me starting the show with that boring intro music
No.
that is
Oh, the
a
elevator
default
music.
setting. Yes, it's because I'm unable to play the music at that time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he honestly, he knows that for it. I am so grateful for him, and Miss Gex who helped me to start this. Again, as I said, she's a great speaker and can hold a great conversation.
Yeah.
But she was doing too much, like she was hosting 5, 6, maybe 10 a week, and it was just too much. So she left me to fly my wings, and it was scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
She was a big part of the team, and still is, and she knows that. That seat's always there for her too, as always. But that was crazy. That was like, right now. What did I say? The real work begins. I was already doing work, but as I said, I had the team obviously to lean on, and then even the nerves now. Like even people that I know, like even in interviewing Kerm, I've spoke to Kerm since the start. Still get nervous. It's just something that happens. Like even coming here tonight, it's nervous. It's
How you feeling now?
I'm fine now. I'm here with you guys. I'm with the fam, and I'm chilling. But you don't
Chilling.
want to mess up, and I don't want, and that's what it is. Like I try to aim every time I record the show. I listen back, and I try to improve that every single week, if I can. I do say about a million times a minute, and I headbutt the wall.
Oh my gosh. Same here.
But other than that, it's if it wasn't for my team, there wouldn't be a Collectors Hub. Shout out to my brother Casual with insane news. Is work he does there to go across all platforms and provide alpha exclusive
And the
news.
voice.
The intros, the voices, he's just, and then I'm so grateful for him, Jay East and Miss Gex.
Miss Gex has a
the whole
question
team.
for you, Maynz.
Tell
She
him
says,
about the
Maynz, tell them
first
about one of the first news segments, and I kept asking you in-depth questions.
She's not here even to come up and help me out because I can't remember what the subject was, but there was something that came out. There was I said something on the news about, I don't remember what it was, but she asked me to elaborate on it, and I didn't have nothing prepared, and I muted the mic. I'm like, is she kidding me right now?
Put you on the spot.
And she kept asking me, and it was like, all right. So then I would answer that question. I think, right, whew, I'm out of it, and then she could carry on, and it's like me and her having an interview. Then I was like, she's killing me right now. Like, she's absolutely killing me.
She was prepping you. She was prepping you.
We did it.
Oh, Funko Pops. Was it about Funko Pops?
Oh yes. I mentioned an exclusive Funko Pops, and she's like, "Oh right. So what else can you tell us about it?" And I'm like, nothing.
They're exclusive and
Sorry,
they're
I've got
available.
dad brain right now. I've got dad brain.
It comes in a
Excuse me.
box. It comes in a box. It's about this tall.
Yeah.
She just kept on.
You just gotta
was
figure
crazy.
it inside.
Absolutely crazy, yeah. But then we got so then we got through that. There's probably so much I'm forgetting. That's a crazy memory there. I remember that clear as day. I tried to do the news. Yeah, but that's what it is. It's my team, and without them, there is no hub. That's facts. And the inspiration for it, I would say my biggest inspiration, because I never really, and this is no offense to you guys, I wasn't here on YouTube. I wasn't in Discord.
Okay.
So yeah, my biggest inspiration for content is O'Milly.
Shout out to O'Milly.
He's incredible. Yeah, he's incredible with the work that he puts in, incredible with the work that he does, and the way that he holds a space.
He is constantly putting a space. Like every time I'm on, I'm like, oh, he's on, constantly. And another polished ex DJ for sure.
Yeah, and I gotta say on your Saturday show on the Collectors Hub, I like the talking about format, I like how you guys have that format where you play your music and come on, dude. Just that song is so catchy. Like I sing it throughout the house when I'm like doing stuff, and Hinana's like collect, collect. I'm like, oh my
She's
gosh,
humming it. She's
Maynzy.
humming it.
Again,
Yeah, it's
you
so
need
catchy.
it's all
Then
down
she
to
goes on
James.
Key's. She goes on Key's thing and starts buying comic books and doesn't tell me until it comes in the mail, Maynz.
Let's go. Talking of comic books, I'm going to go and get out a slab and I'm going to get a couple of bits out to show you guys what I've got, and then I'm going to say hi on camera. Let me just
No worries.
Don't drop anything.
Yeah, this has been great, guys. While Maynz is getting himself set up, this has been a really good interview so far. We are doing a giveaway right now, guys. If you want a chance to win a community donated giveaway, please type in hashtag Viviverse in the chats right now for a chance to win 2 things. And one of those things is donated from the community. Hashtag Viviverse. Do that right now, please. And we will announce the winner at the end of the show. But yeah,
Right.
so this has been a really cool interview so far. I've really wanted to understand the foundation of certain things, like specifically shows. I always like to know what inspires people to create things or just wanting to do these things every day, because being consistent with content is not an easy feat. And you know this, all these other content creators out here who are creating on YouTube, X Spaces, and even in like the Facebooks and even on the X timelines. It takes a level of commitment to do these things, if not weekly, on the daily. And so, I really like the fact that, you have your show and there's a inspiration behind that. And so I like to find out what's the foundation for that. D, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, if you guys have some time, tune in tomorrow because Mahalo Joe will be their guest. Another great collector, and he has an incredible story as well. So that's 11, 12, 1. That's 1 p.m. Pacific time for Americans. Or that's how we say our times is in Pacific time. Yeah, if you guys want to check that out, that's tomorrow. Oh, come on, dude. But yeah, I love like I was telling Maynz, I love the format where you have, you're like the main host, obviously, but you have your questions, you get to ask them, you give the guest their time to talk about, their collecting journey. And then you also share the floor with Kaj and Jay. And I also like the little segments that, everyone has like their not duties, I get like responsibility on the show. Like Jay is responsible for the music, and then Kaj has his news to share with everybody about other collecting platforms that we can check out. So I think you have like a really great format, and it works. Like we know what to expect each week, and even though we know what to expect, it's always a great conversation because not everyone collects the same things. So I'm really I really like what you guys have going on, and yeah, here's to 100 and even more. That's you got so far, like you've come so far, starting off in just music spaces and making your own space, your own time slot, just to have something that you get more personal with people in the community. So yeah, props to you guys. Bravo.
Let's go.
My hands are clapping.
But that's so cool. We've got
Real
Mahalo
quick,
Joe in the
Maynz,
building. Yes, my man.
before you get started, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Let's go.
A word from our sponsor.
Are you like me and suffer from OCBPD, obsessive compulsive button pushing disorder? Well, you're in luck. I've got the thing for you.
On the VV Digital Collectibles app, you can feed the need and smash that buy button anytime you want.
High quality comics and collectibles from the best IP are available anytime, day or night.
You will feel the FOMO in no time. Keep pressing and keep collecting.
Warning. Buy Now is not responsible for misclicks or slow timing. Please make sure you clear your cache and kick your child off Roblox to have the best signal before pressing the Buy Now button. Some side effects may occur. A small group of users have reported suffering from OLC, only landing comments, and have known to catch the SR FOMO from X feeds. Not financial advice. Press at your own risk.
Dude, that was good.
Let's go.
That was awesome.
You didn't say that ending in rehearsal, so that was funny.
Yeah, I'll do that in there. You know what I mean? You have the SR FOMO. I know what it's like.
Guys, tune in to VV Radio on Tuesdays. This next guest for episode 7 is going to be none other than Kid Arcade himself. Tune in 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's go.
All
Go ahead,
right,
dude.
let's go. Yeah, so he's getting set up. Are you okay over there, Maynz? Just checking in on you. Hey!
Hey!
Hello!
There he
How
is,
you doing, guys? I'm not
Can you
sure
hear
if you
us?
can see me very well, or
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah, we got you, man. You looking styling.
Let's
Look
go.
at that.
Yeah. Is it cold out there?
It
You're
is
all
a bit.
bundled up.
It is a bit cold, yeah. Well, you know me. This is how they like to see. This is how. This is how everybody envisions me on Spaces. So I don't know if
There
to
we
be like
go.
this or to be normal but here we are, guys. Here we are.
Whatever makes you
First
feel
appearance.
comfortable. And plus, guys, also, if you haven't yet, go and give Maynz a follow right here on X, as well as the Collectors Hub. Tune in every Saturdays for these guys. And Maynz, back to you. Or actually, Dee, go ahead.
Yeah, so you said you had some comics or like a slab that you wanted to share. What can you tell us? Ooh, it's like a show and tell.
So this was my first slab from the good sister Becca. I cannot.
Can you blow him up, Inano?
Yeah. I'm going to put you on a
this was
solo
a-
layout just for a bit.
This was a hip hop variant. Can you
A little
guys see
bit
that?
pixelated. A little bit. It's a little pixelated, but
Is it any better
Okay.
or not?
Is that Wolverine?
It is.
No. Ooh.
yeah, it's
Nice.
a little
So I can hold it up.
pixelated.
How about like that? How's that?
Like
It might be just
anklet
shine.
towards.
Oh yeah, there you go. We can
Right
kind of
there,
see it
yeah.
right there. Yeah. It's good though.
What else did I
So
have?
that one was from Becca?
That was. Oh, these
Nice.
are dope. These are dope. These are dope.
Here we go. Solo.
These are dope. So this was from the lovely KC. She went to the con, and they did these cool.
Oh, look at those, D.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a superior? Is that?
Yeah, the Superior
Superior.
Iron Man.
No.
I only
Vivi
asked her
variant
for
one.
these.
Yeah.
I only asked her for these two, and then she kindly sent that as well.
Wow, look at that.
So
Nice.
shout out to KC. She made me a physical collector too. I'll just run for a couple if you've got time. Just a couple.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yes.
For sure. I feel like
Cool.
showing something. Here it goes, Solo. Yeah. Oh, look at that one,
Ooh,
D.
that's a
Oh, my
beautiful
gosh.
cover. Nice. The Invincible Iron Man. Nice.
I've got some
I think
cool ones
Osmond
there.
found that same comic, Maynz, in Vegas. I think that's
Was
the
that
same
also?
comic. Yeah, that's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
comic Oz found in Vegas.
Oh, this is dope.
Here we go,
This one
guys.
is dope too. So this is a Star Wars Virgin variant, limited to 400 copies, and this is mint number 194 from 400.
Oh my God, look at that.
Wow. It's
Yeah, you're
amazing.
coming in
Ooh, that's
clear
really
now. Look
clean.
at that.
Yeah.
That looks great. What? It's a one in what?
One of 400,
1 of 400. Oh, how
and it
beautiful that
says
is.
194 on the back. It comes with a little certificate. I'm
COD.
not sure if you can see that.
Yeah, look at that.
Sweet. Wow.
Love it.
What's
Very
Gex
nice,
say?
very
Peaky
nice.
Maynz.
Peaky Maynz.
Let's go,
Peaky.
girl.
Easy.
Right.
I love
Lastly, I'll
it,
just
Jack.
run through just the last couple more.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
on
No,
here.
this is
Mhm.
great. Shoot, what do I have to show?
These are-
Yeah, Hinano's like he's got the bug. Oh, I can show
Yeah,
something.
no. This is not about me.
Oh, we've got, of course.
Yes. Is that a
Of course.
facsimile or is that the real deal?
That's a facsimile, my guy. I wish it was the real deal.
It's still the real
if
deal.
not all of my comics are. I wish I had the real deal. I have been looking on eBay though.
Well,
but
Kenobi likes to
things in-
say facsimiles are the way for us to own the books that we can have.
Yeah, true. Like this one.
Oh yeah, I love that one too.
Ooh, yeah.
You should look at see if they're graded. The graded copies are actually they're going a lot.
Yes, I mean, I'd like to. I will treat myself one day, but my wife says that there's other things in the house to get on with. You got some
Oh,
extra
there you
comics?
go.
Oh, beautiful.
go.
Yes.
Yes, that is a grail,
We
even in
love
facsimile
DC.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I've got. There was some, like, honestly, guys, Vivi has turned me into an insane. Here's some of the run from what I was speaking about earlier.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that Disney 100. Yeah.
Look at that.
You know, I don't want to get all my hands all in the camera, but we got them. And last thing they got me, I think.
That was one thing that we tried. We also got like the ones that came out every month, the Disney 100.
Yeah.
That's a great
This
collection.
was my favourite one now. I've actually got 2 copies of this, so I'm gonna send
yes.
one over to you guys if you haven't got one already.
Oh no, we got one, man. Keep your copy. Keep your second copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got one?
But yeah,
Alright,
I agree.
okay,
That's a
okay,
good
okay.
one, man.
Okay, of course you've got one. You're an OG. What am I talking about? What are these? Forbidden comics? I mean, I'm just getting everything. This. Again, this is my favourite artist, so I'll just show you this. This guy here is my favourite artist.
Oh, Scotty.
Scotty Young, without a doubt,
Nice.
is my favourite artist. Without a doubt. And my latest cop, well, the last one that I actually bought was Spider-Boy.
Oh, good man.
Nice.
Romita, love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've got
Very cool.
I got a graded and about 4 of those in my black box.
let's go.
So
But
I got
that's
one
me.
thing to show. One thing to share here. I've shared it before, but I don't know if you've seen it before. This is actually our print.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so this is our print right here. So Davo, one of the artists in our community, he made these prints for us. And then it also comes with a COD, and it's also tied to the blockchain. So this is partially an RWA.
Oh wow.
But he didn't stop there. He actually put our QR for our YouTube as well as our X on here as well.
Killing
So
it. Absolutely killing it.
and then he also put a signature right there. So shout out to Davo right here. Maynz, you're gonna get a digital copy of this. We're gonna send you one for coming on the pod today, by the way. So and I'm gonna tell you right now, Maynz, not a lot of people are gonna be getting these digitals or physicals because they're very, very scarce. But since you're a guest, you're gonna get a season 2 digital from us. It comes with a bunch of utility that we will talk about later, but it's a very, very scarce piece, and it's a love piece because it's the only piece you're going to find my son on there. So my son is actually on here, right? Yeah, we have different versions of this, but this specific piece is the only one with our son. So that's my daughter right here. She's Punchline, of obviously my son who's Superman, and he actually likes Superman. And then myself and D as well as Wonder Woman. So you're going to get a digital copy of that, my friend. And we'll talk about it a little bit later, but that's my little show and tell right there.
Thank you, my man. That is insane. Let's go.
Of course. Of course. And then D, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what to do with myself. Like, you guys are professionals. I don't know. I keep moving. I keep waving.
You can do whatever you want. You can dig your nose if you want, scratch your head, whatever. Whatever you want to do.
No way.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you before, but then we ended up going to another topic. You had mentioned that you've been to the events in real life, and your first one was the one in London. So how was that experience for you? Like meeting people that you've been talking to in spaces, and like actually meeting them, like going out of your comfort zone, out of your home to like go and meet all these strangers. Like, how was that for you?
It was so weird. I was just trying to hear voices,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
because I recognized the voices, of course, you know. We recognize
Mm.
that. We don't recognize anything else. It was, I remember standing in the queue and I was in the queue with Kevin. I don't know if you know guys know big Kevy was from back in the spaces in 2021, but I remember Becca walked past and I heard the Manchester accent and I could spot it a mile away. So she was one of the first to meet at the event in the queue. But the queue was crazy at Decon because things happened that we didn't expect. So as soon as they cut they had like a ribbon across to keep everybody out. As soon as they cut the ribbon, it was a bombardment because there was this giveaway going on with the t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
With the Jermaine t-shirt. I have one in the, as it goes. Hold on a sec. 1 sec.
Yeah, no problem.
No
Oh, is he gonna go
worries.
get it?
I
We
think
might be
so.
seeing the shirt.
Ooh, let's go,
la
guys. And also,
la.
thank you everyone for watching right now. We have about 105 people watching the live stream right now. I really appreciate that because I know it's VVverse Day. We are planning on trying to do these shows in the VVverse. I just have to figure out the controls a little bit. I've only been in there for 1 hour, so you know,
Yeah.
new.
So going back to my story, it was
Ooh.
for one of these.
I remember those. You guys had to
Oh.
queue up for that too. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, signed as well by the man himself,
Nice.
Mr. Yu and Dan.
Wow.
Wow.
So that was the hype around the con, and the queue was crazy and the bombardment, and so we had to look after little Bex because she's only small.
Oh, is she short like me?
God bless her soul. She's only little. So we had to make sure that we looked after her. And that
That's
was it.
cool.
Yeah. So it was just a real.
We have a
hype
similar story we're going to
experience.
tell you.
It was this real hype experience, and I had to sort of, you know, I'm out here just, I'm listening to voices, and that's how it was. It was a great experience to meet everybody, to see everybody, to meet people across the pond. Vivi, Magic, Kermie, Sharky, Gooch, Max, Janie. It was insane, you know.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Really, really, yeah. Because since then I've built a much more stronger, I would say, connection around them.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was real still, you know, early days, early doors. But yeah, it was a cool con. It was only small though compared to what I see. When I saw the Kenobi out there in the States, they do it like 10 times the size of us here. So
It's pretty big.
yeah,
Yeah.
got to get there one
Yeah.
day. Have to get there.
So, have you gone to other events or meetups in your part of the world, or
Nope,
just
that was the
meetups
only
with like?
one.
Okay.
That was the only one, but I have booked up for this year because the team are coming here, right? At Comic Con.
Yeah.
So I have that all done. That's booked, paid for, done. The countdown's
Speak of the
on.
devil.
His ears were
Yo,
ringing.
I just
There he is. He knew we were talking about him. Hey.
Hey, yo, chill.
What's
chill,
goody
chill.
goody?
Chill, yeah.
My
That's
boy,
cool.
Kenobi.
I have a similar story about the shortness. So D was the short one in DCon 2022, and it's probably the same one that Kenobi was live streaming at the time. I didn't know Kenobi, so we didn't get to interact during that time. But I remember D had someone tall that would help her out. Actually, she had two people. She had Vivi Meister, and she also had VV Vibes, and they were our tall guys. So and also, yeah, that's right, and also Ghost 888. So sometimes they would like try to like help her. I think one of them lifted you up once, but
Yeah.
like they literally was holding her up like this. But yeah, just a lot of noises, a lot of voices, and then D like being suffocated by a bunch of tall people. But when we first went to the con, it was funny. I was nervous, and I'm not a nervous guy. I kind of explained that already, but I was nervous to meet these people because I've never really talked to them face to face, right? And so like you're going through that whole like, oh, will they actually like me in person versus like at least there's a barrier, right? The internet's the barrier. So I went there and I was super nervous. And she looked at me like, "What's your problem? You look nervous." I was like, "I am nervous." And I saw VV Vibes. I saw James for the first time, and I wanted to go up and talk to him, and I couldn't do it. And then we turned the corner, and we actually bump into my collectibles. Like we actually ran into Aaron, and that helped us out because bumping into somebody and saying, "Hey, I know you," and finding out that he was exactly who he was on TV. That's how everybody was at the con, and then that kind of kicked off our whole weekend. After that, you couldn't shut me up. I was talking to everybody. So similar in sense, but like, was that also the same for you? I know it was a little bit smaller. You guys had like a people were getting tattooed with VV logos, and you guys had like a small little party. How was the after party for you?
Hey, I've got my flag. There we go. Look.
Hey, I like your flag.
Hey, there you go.
That's cool.
So the party was insane. Like again, it was just we went down. It was across the road, so it wasn't even far. You know, it was just like in a
That's
little
great.
event just across the road. So you literally walked out of the con, down a set of stairs, and it was there. It was like literally right outside. So yeah, we went there, and it started off just as like a quiet vibe, I suppose, to start off with. You know, people were just turning up, weren't really sure if they were going to stay or not, because we don't know each other, right? It's the first time that we're all meeting in you know, but we had this sort of half connection because we'd already been in spaces for, I would say, a year or so. So we already had a little bit of a connection, but it was a very chill vibe where we got to chat to people. So outside, we got to talk to Dan, David, outside of, like, you know, because it was crazy in the con. Another cool story is when I first met Mr. U himself to get my t-shirt signed, I asked him about what was going to be next for this app, like what's the features that are going to be introduced. And back then he did say that he wanted to do a feature where you could burn your way up to a secret rare. And we're kind of seeing that with crafting, right? It's not really burning. You do sometimes have to burn some collectibles to craft. But he did say that then, and that was back in 2021 and in 2022, and people were like, I came back to spaces that week and was like, yo, the man himself told me burning is going to be introduced. Everyone thought it was crazy. And here we are today again. We're burning, right? It's so, yeah, it shows you that he had a vision already that was far beyond any of us. It's like he's like 4 or 5 years ahead of us. And the stuff that we think about now, he's already got it planned or mapped out. So insane. But that's the vibe.
I agree.
That party was good because you got to chill at start. It was a chill vibe. And then of course OBL's mum turned up with the speakers and the music set up, and I was like, oh my god, because prior to her being there, I'd already checked out that she's an award-winning DJ for Ministry of Sound.
Wow.
So that's pretty big. That's
Really?
not,
wow.
you know, that's big time. So yeah, and then the music started. Alex G was on the team at that point.
Yeah.
Hosting on the mic. And then it just turned into a real vibe. It was Tows's birthday as well, which we found out, you know, as we was in the party or that day evening.
Your twin.
We found, so they said, yeah, my twin, my brother. So yeah, and then it was a good vibe. I got some really cool videos. I remember being at the bars, turning around. Hello K, shout out to Hello K. He was doing some breakdancing stuff, which was really cool, which earned him a gold card as well. Yep, that earned him. Like,
did you get one? Did you get a card?
Missed my opportunity, and I know.
Me too.
I didn't want to pressure the team or anybody when I got my t-shirt signed. It just didn't feel like the right time, right moment. It was my first time I'd ever met them, and then all of a sudden I'm going to ask for a card. It just didn't seem me, but there was an opportunity. The opportunity was at the party. Becca was dancing with the man himself, Mr. U, and they was like in like one part of the room in the dance floor, and I said to Becca, just keep him here 1 sec. I'm just going to go get a drink. I said to Becca, do you want a drink? And I said to Mr. Yu, do you want a drink? So I went to the bar to get us a drink. But the queue was crazy. You know what it's like in a club. It's always hard work, isn't it, to get, it's crazy.
One drink, just to get one
Yeah.
drink.
So I got 3 drinks and I came back and he's gone. And she was just staring at me and I was like, where'd he go?
It's like you had one job. You know?
I said to her,
Or
"You had
switch,
one
I'll
job."
dance with him, go get us drinks.
Yeah, just one job. I had a drink for him. I was going to give him the drink. I was going to show him my collection. No, it's not her fault. I was just trying to use that as a tactic to, right, well, this is the perfect time.
Break the ice.
So, unfortunately, no, I missed out on that, which is, because we all know what sort of it holds. It holds a great, there's been some cool stuff happening with a gold card in terms of parties and utilities and other stuff along the way that they've already got in place. Shout out to my brother, Mr. Rolex. Shout out to MC1. They're really doing some stuff over there. And we all know that it holds some great, a value.
Yeah.
It's a cool club to be in, and I don't think there's any more of these handing out anymore. So maybe.
Yeah, definitely a lot of utility with that piece. And just to kind of harken with what you said, I also had an opportunity, but I just felt like it wasn't the right time. I never really got to spend a lot of time with David, but when I did meet him, he did say hi. He met my whole family. He even took a picture with us, but he was so busy. And you've seen from Kenobi's live that DCon 2022, there was a ton of people. So the queues were big. Trying to meet all these guys were hard. I remember going to Sanjay's party. He had a party at Dave & Buster's. This was before the gold card, so you didn't need a logo to go and hang out. And that is where my wife got to actually have dinner with Dan. And so sneaky thing about my wife, she was actually with what's his name, Nas. So it was my wife, Nas, and my eldest daughter. I think at the time my daughter was like maybe 9. And everybody was cool. We brought my daughter to the party in Hawaii. We do that, guys. So yeah, please don't judge. But we brought her there, and Dee had dinner with Dan, Nas, and my daughter was there too. And they had dinner for 1 hour, Maynz. And I get a text later like, "Yo, guess who we had dinner with?" And I look at my phone. I'm like, "Holy shit, it's Dan!" And then we're going to try to find them. And I'm like, "Well, where is he?" I'm like, "Oh, we had dinner with him already." I'm like, "Wait, for 1 hour, I'm hanging out with like VV Vibes, VV Meister. We would have loved to have dinner with Dan." She never texted me for 1 whole hour. Granted, I never went to go look for my wife, right?
Hey, come on now.
You know
Hey.
You know it's real. You don't lie to me. You got 150 people watching. Don't lie to them.
I waved at you from across the bar.
It's no waving. But anyways, she got to have dinner with Dan. So but that was cool because at least somebody from our team here got to hang out with one of the founders. And so Dee was actually lucky enough to go have dinner with him and stuff like that. I mainly hung out with a lot of the content creators. I got to see Corey for the first time, Reese. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I never really got that opportunity. I never really got to speak to David for the first time fully until he came on the channel, and we got to have that round table with him. That was the first time I actually got to get to know David more on a personal level, was through this medium right here. But yeah, Dee got to have dinner with Dan, and maybe one day we'll get a logo. Anything you want to add to this, Dee? Your dinner, perhaps? You want to tell us what happened? I still don't know.
What happened at the dinner? That's cool.
We just talk story. It wasn't because they had the whole day of them just being busy at the booth and mingling with the community. So being at Sanjay's party was kind of like their way of clocking out for the day and just enjoying themselves. So I didn't want to be like, "Oh, when is this coming? When is this coming?" It's like you don't want to go to a party and just be asked like AMA questions kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Cool. Facts.
So we just ended up talking about Hawaii because his partner has been to Hawaii. So I'm like, "Oh, we're kind of almost like cousins in a way because like the Maori, the New Zealand people are related to like the Hawaiians and the whole Polynesian triangle culture." So we ended up talking about that, and then my daughter was with me, so he was telling her to eat your carrots and vegetables because that's what they had like for snacks and stuff. And so he was giving her really good advice. And then Nas like came around like the back way and he was like, "Oh, you guys are here." So I'm like, "Yeah." So I ended
Nas.
up talking with Nas
Shout out Nas.
and Dan. But yeah, I mean, it was just a casual conversation, just like talking about just non like work related stuff. Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty chill guy. Just yeah.
Let's go.
And then
That's
like
cool, man. That's really
we
cool.
we were talking with him, and then like people around us kept like bumping him and like, "Oh, can you sign this? Can you take a picture?" And I didn't want to be like that. I'm like, well, if everyone else is doing it, I'll just get like one picture. Yeah, and then so we got our one picture with
Yeah, we
me,
got it an hour later. We
our
seen it.
daughter, Nas, and Dan. So yeah, it was pretty cool to just hang out with you know, one of like the CEO co-CEOs of the company. So
Yeah.
I was like, very cool for me because I'm like nobody here at the time. Like, hello. But yeah, he made it like really easy to just like kick back and just relax and, you know, just be ourselves and enjoy the party. So yeah, I mean, like for parties and meetups and stuff, hopefully we can make it over there to your side of the world.
It's a
If
goal.
not, yeah, if not in London, like maybe like even Paris, or if they have in other parts of Europe. We would love to come and whoa,
Hey, look at
hey! That's his alias.
That's cool.
Very
That's
cool.
cool. I like that.
Oh, that's a
Um,
pillow, right? Is that a pillow?
no, I think he's got an AR thing going on, right?
No, his the British flag.
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that
the
a
British
pillow?
flag is a pillow.
Okay. I wanted
Um,
one. Yeah,
but you
go
know,
ahead.
Mains, we're at we're getting close to the 2 hour mark, and I know it's getting late for you, so we're gonna probably close it out soon. And I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, your show is something kind of like akin to ours. I feel like that we're like your sister show on the YouTube side. And I really love the tender moments that you guys have. I really feel like we got some tender moments tonight. But this is part of the program where we like to turn the tables around on us, and we want to give you the opportunity to ask us questions. So if there's something you want to ask DNI, the floor is yours, my friend.
I have so many questions, but you guys are going to be with me soon on the hub, so I don't want to spoil
100%.
too much. Have you announced your new show yet?
We have.
You have. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I haven't seen that. So can you tell me a little bit about that, please? Because I know about all the others. You guys are really busy. I don't know how you find the time to do it. Honestly, I really do not know.
It's this guy.
So
Maynz is the man. Let's go. Shout out to Flickers,
Yes.
bro. His energy is crazy.
Yes.
That guy. Big love, my man, and I will see you soon
Big
for sure.
love.
But yeah, you guys are very inspiring with the work rate that you're doing. And
Thank you.
I would, please tell me about the new show, because honestly, I haven't seen the post yet. So you can slap myself on the hand now, because I should have already
You're
seen
good.
it.
You're
But it's been a bit
that's
of
why
a
we had to
crazy
have a
day.
schedule.
Let's go. Yes, please tell me about it, please.
So I'll tell you this one, and then if you have a question that you want to ask D, you can. But so basically, the new show's called Enter the Verse, and so the show is really just going to be inspired right around the VV-verse specific. If there's any other verses that come out after that, we'll probably make another show. But this show is specifically for VV-verse content. We want to bring people in, maybe collaborate with people. You've seen that we had an interview, or our first episode, we had an interview with Collectors Gone Digital and Fro, just to kind of give the audience an idea of what we might be doing. There's other people that we want to reach to from different other metaverses and try to bring them into VV-verse. A lot of what Enter the Verse might be trying to do is to try to bring the outside world in here. Outside world could be also people that I know in real life, because now it's not all about buying and selling collectibles and collecting something on your phone. Now it's really something like a Minecraft, Sim City, or a Sims type of thing. That's really what this looks like to me. And it's a completely different product to tell the outside world to come in and interact. and then they can find out about the collectibles or the comic books by using the VVverse, by being inspired to come in. So that is part of the goal of the channel, is to bring
Fantastic.
people in that medium, and then also to just kind of like show you guys my journey. I went live today on that show, and I'm going to go probably live tonight. So basically to document our VVverse journey and to also collaborate with people along the way. That's basically what the show's about. And who knows, it may turn into something even more along the way. It's kind of like you. We're building it as long as we go. And that's not the only other show. There's also another show that we're doing as well, where it's like reviews on a TV show. And then there's also
really?
other ideas I have. Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
that other show is called The Severed Floor. And a couple of, because we have also a cabal chat for the Real Uncommon podcast. So a couple of our community members wanted to get together and do a live stream to talk about a specific TV show. It's called Severance. And so
Right.
that show is going to be on Monday. And yes, I don't really know how I'm finding the time. That's like 4 shows already.
As
You
a
know, my
kid.
wife's show, I do the graphics and the background stuff. So I sleep when I can, and I'm a dad 24/7. I have a full-time job, and I also do this, and so I just juggle my
Killing
time.
it, guys. Honestly, you are a credit, and we are so grateful for all the content that you do. So please don't ever think that
Thank
you're
you.
not. You are highly appreciated and spoken about in every single space that I'm in. These are truly are inspirational. So you just need to just like all of us, we just keep on building, keep going, and yeah, I think this has grown like as you know, as I love the app, I love collecting. I think that this community has grown outside of it. Even if the app, God forbid, it didn't exist, I think that we would still all be here in spaces and now through how we've connected. You know, like if I would still now like to hear from you, Andy, and other, and just everybody. Like, of course, like it's grown outside of it now, which is insane. And I don't think there's another community. I know we say it, and I don't like to be big-headed, but I don't think there's another community like the Vivi community. I don't know. Maybe there is, but I ain't seen one yet.
Well, let's try to bring them in if there is. That's the idea, right?
Facts, big facts. Yeah, no, big facts. So as you know, we started something as well, like yourselves, for the verse. On Tuesday, we had Builders Assemble. We had some of the Voltaholics in the house,
Yes.
Great
OBL
show.
and Gex. And that is something that we will, I think we're going to try and also to host on a Tuesday. Try and bring some updates, try and find out what's good, what's not good, what looks good, what don't look good, tips, tricks.
That's awesome.
And as well, yeah, I just feel like, yeah, the more of us that are doing this, the more we're getting it out there, the more we're trying to spread the word, the more it's not, see, for me, I don't know, but for me, it's never about trying to be in competition with anybody or being in competition.
100%.
We are a team, we are building, we support each other, we help each other. One team, one dream, and that's all it is for me, man. Like, you guys are killing it, and it's great.
Thank you.
It's great. I don't get as much time as I do to there is so much content now. I feel like since this verse has happened, right? We've got your shows that you already do. Now we've added to it now with the verse. So it's hard to be everywhere in one place, and your thing for me is obviously you're way across the pond. So I do always look back and I listen and I tune in, but I'm just not always here with you guys live, which is unfortunate. But this has been incredible. So again, thank you for having me, and it's just absolute pleasure. So dope.
Let's go. D,
Yeah, thank
anything
you,
else
Maynz.
you want to add to for Maynz before we kind of close out? Or is there anything you wanted to ask D before we close out, Maynz?
D's just super cool. That's it. She's I don't know how you're here hosting live and you're a mama, so be proud of that. That's dope. Let's
Thank
go.
you.
Let's
Thank
go.
you.
Let's go, D.
So guys, before we go, Maynz, this one is coming to you right here. This is the digital slab I was talking to you about. There's only 60 of these, so not a lot of people have gotten these. Very rare, and this gives you a lot of utility in
Oh, look at
our Discord. And I'm also going to give you a
Let's go.
golden podcast ticket. This allows you to enter our monthly giveaway once a month or one time only, and we do it monthly. Normally, this is behind a paywall, or you have to own one of our assets. But with this ticket, you can enter once. And so you have that ticket right there. If you ever want,
That's
if you ever
dope.
see anything, I gave away Star Wars #1, a slab last month. So if you see us giving away something, you can enter by submitting this ticket. And that's easy. You just send it to us and you're in. So this is for you. That is for you. But chat, we're not done. We're also going to be giving away a Fishes code tonight, as well
Let's
as
go.
this Kid Arcade Light Parade that was donated by Kid Arcade. This is a Miles Van Gogh right here. So, guys, enter
love that.
hashtag VVverse in the chat. And if you want to enter that as well, Maynz, you can. I'll run this giveaway while D closes out the show. I'll give you guys one more minute. D, go for it.
Yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's been here watching and listening. I know you could be in the VVverse right now playing around and building, but you are here and just getting to hear about Maynz's story and how he started, and how far he's come, and what he's built and will continue to build. So yeah, thank you everybody for your support. Also, a huge thank you for you, Maynz, for your time and coming on and sharing with us. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting you in real life as well, because you seem like just a cool person to just chill out with, and keep putting out those the pictures with your sweet secret spot by the lake or the river. I think it's by the lake, right? I just love it when you're camped out there, and I'm like, oh, I miss, because we love camping. We just haven't gone camping in so long. But just to
it's my
wake
thing.
up.
I love it. I love being outdoors.
Yeah.
Fishing is my thing. My dad,
Me
my
too, man.
granddad, it was a thing as a kid, and it's just stayed with me. And yeah, it's important, guys. You must.
Yeah.
To anybody that's here listening, you must also get outside. But yeah, outdoors is great. I love it. Can't get enough of it. I wish I could do it more, but with 3 children, a full-time job, and hosting in Web3, we don't get much time, guys, do we?
Yeah.
Not really. But hey, you know what?
Ourselves.
When our banker bot moons, maybe you can come visit us in Hawaii, and we'll take you on a bona fide camping trip, man.
Yes.
Facts.
Oh, that'd be so.
That will happen as well. That will happen. Mark my words.
Oh yeah. I believe you.
NFA,
I'm there. I'm there with
NFA,
you.
of course.
I'm with you. Shout out to
For
Vibe.
the channel. Yeah, shout out to Vibe.
But guys, let's run this giveaway right now, guys, for the Fishes code and also for the Kid Arcade Light Parade exclusive. This is the first winner right here for the Fishes code. Good luck, everyone, and may the juju be with you.
Good luck, everybody.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Delco Dude, big congratulations, brother. This hands are for you. Delco, we have your wallet address. Or I'm sorry, I'll send you the code after the stream, but this is for the last thing of the day, which is the Kid Arcade Light Parade exclusive, the Miles Van Gogh. Let's see who it is.
Sweet piece.
Batman Who Laughs.
Batman, nice.
Big congratulations, Batman. I have your wallet address. We will send that to you later on today. And guys, that has been the show. Thank you so much for hanging out. This has been a really great organic conversation with the host of the Collectors Hub himself, Maynz. Maynz, final words for the audience before we're out of here.
Oh,
you're muted, brother.
Muted.
I knew that.
It's all good.
I do this in spaces all the time. I talk to myself about half an hour and then look at my mic. And I'm like, I wasn't even talking to myself.
It's like, why isn't anyone responding?
Final words for me is, once again, I'm grateful for everybody that I've met, and I'm grateful for all the connections that I've made. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful for this app. And yeah, I can't wait to try and get around the pond and around the globe to meet more people like yourselves and just everybody across the pond. That's my closing words. I just much love to everybody. Shout out to all the content creators that are in X Spaces and on YouTube. Don't let nobody knock you off your focus. Keep your focus. We keep building. One team, one dream. From me, peace.
All right, guys. With that
Thank you,
said, take
Maynz.
care and aloha.
So tune in every week and join the ride. We're the Real Uncommon Podcast, and we're here to provide